Welcome to the Roadrunner 89 Investment Network, where we talk about interracial love and marriage. Hope you enjoy Swirl to Investment. All right, welcome to tonight's show. I hope everybody's having a good weekend. I hope everybody's having a good Sunday night. Uh, I apologize for coming up so late. Um, if anybody can hear me, if you could give me a one, if you can hear me, okay. I didn't do my checks before I came in. I think everything's okay, but if you can't hear me, give me a one. If not, well, you can't do nothing. Anyway, happy Sunday night. Tonight's topic I want to talk about, okay, if you see the title, I'm going to talk about Leslie Jones and her comments about marriage is modern day slavery, okay? She feels it's like modern day slavery. Okay, one, thank you, J10. I appreciate that. Um, and we're going to talk about that. Marriage compared to slavery seems, to me, that don't make sense. Slavery was just totally abusive, controlling somebody's life against their will. Marriage is a commitment between a man and a woman and a commitment to God. It's something two people agree to. And if it don't work, you marry the wrong person, you can get out of it. Okay? Slavery, I don't think I wasn't around then, but I don't think they could go to the plantation owner and say, you know what, this slavery thing ain't working for me. You know, you forced me to work and you beat me. It's not a good thing. I don't want to be a part of it no more. You didn't have that choice. But in marriage, you could say it's abusive, file for a divorce, and leave. Okay? But I want to talk about what she said. Okay, a lot of people are doing content on what Leslie Jones said about marriage being like slavery. Okay? And more than addressing her for what she said, I'm trying to look at where does that come from? Why did she say that? Does she truly believe that? Or is it her life experiences? Is it, did it come from a bad place? Did she have bad relationships? And does she think that since she didn't have good relationships, that if she went into marriage, it'd be like she was locked down in a bad relationship longer? Okay? I'm just kind of, how can I say this? I'm not saying that's what it is. I'm just speculating, okay, from what I heard. And Leslie Jones is a comedian. She's funny. And she's very famous, right? And listening to some of her material, okay, could that be. And I'm thinking, look, I don't know, but I'm thinking some of her comedy is dealing with her real life. Sometimes comedians will insert life situations in their comedy routine, right? She said one time that, if and I'm not going to say what she said because it's uh, because of the language. But basically, what she said, if she's sleeping with a guy 2 times, it's a relationship, and she don't care if it's a relationship to him, but it is to her. And the way she said it, people were laughing. Oh yeah, that's a joke. And but maybe she had bad relationships, and maybe there's some trauma there. Okay. Um, and I'm going to talk about this, and you guys give me your opinion. I think this goes deeper than people are talking about her. Oh, she's masculine, and some people say she don't like men, and she's a feminist, and that's where it comes from. No, I think it comes from the culture she was raised in. I think it comes from how she was raised and a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions. And I think it's linked to colorism, okay? Uh, and I'm going to talk about colorism too, okay? And look, we know colorism does exist, right? People are shamed because of the skin tone, okay? It came from a place of racism, and unfortunately, there are black people that participate in colorism, okay? And we know it exists, right? Not in all people. A lot of people think that's stupid. Why should we judge somebody by their skin tone, okay? We should just love people for who they are and not how dark or light they are, okay? Um, this colorism thing, um, back in the day, I didn't know it was a thing till I got married to my wife, and I seen some things. And maybe I've been sheltered, and maybe where I live, that wasn't a thing. And, us white men that love black women, we don't care about the skin tone. We don't even think about that. Um, but anyway, I think part of Leslie Jones' situation, and I think some of the trauma she's going through, and I believe she's going through trauma, okay? Um, I think it has to do with colorism. I think it has to do with the culture she's in, and I think it has to do with society and how people see things, okay? And instead of going in on her for what she said, what is the root of the reason she said what she said? That's what I want to dig into. Okay? Um, I'm going to show you a couple videos. Okay? And, fair use, fair use. And we're going to go into this. Okay? Um, but everybody's got an opinion on this. People think she's just masculine and unattractive, and that's why she can't find a good man, and that's why she feels the way she does about marriage, and that misery has company, and she just wants other women to be miserable. I disagree. I think there's something else going on. But you let me know. I could be wrong. Okay, I can't get in her mind and read her mind and see what she's going through. But I see black women like Leslie Jones that have a similar opinion or feel a certain way. Okay? But anyway, let me show this video and we'll talk more about it. Okay? And I don't want to be disrespectful. And look, I'm just telling you what I think and what I observe. Okay? All right, let's show this first video.
Yes, I do.
Say more.
Oops, sorry. All right, let me move this. Dang StreamYard, they charge more money, but their little features get worse and worse. But oh well. Okay.
If I'm thinking about slavery,
And the thing of it is StreamYard used to be,
I think
when you showed a video and you went to the next one, it would just go to the next one. Now it keeps the old one up, and you got to go close it out and go back, and I don't know. I'm just kind of whatever. But anyway, I'm ranting about StreamYards because their price went up like skyrocketed. Well, fine, you want to make money, but don't fix something that was working good and make it worse. Okay. All right, let's talk about Leslie Jones and her comment. Marriage is like slavery. That's what she said. Let's talk about it. All right, let's hear this video.
I think marriage is legalized slavery.
You do.
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about slavery and I'm thinking about marriage, there are two different images that come into my
Absolutely
head.
not. I don't think. I don't know how you don't. A man is, especially if he's expecting you to be a trad wife, you might as well pull out a whip and a chain.
Wow. So there are young people watching who might be wanting to get married. What would you say to them?
Don't.
Don't get married.
No.
Okay.
Oh God, you are crazy.
How am I crazy?
You are crazy.
You're saying that marriage is
No, I don't believe in the marriage. No, I don't.
so you wouldn't get married?
No, and I don't think it's beneficial for a woman at all.
So when I seen this clip, my immediate thought was this.
Okay, you seen that clip, right? Okay, I think there's something going on. Okay, now Leslie Jones has never been married. Okay, she's 58 years old. Okay, and I think, here's the thing about marriage. For some people, they fall in love and find somebody they love that loves them back, and they have a beautiful, amazing marriage. Some people get with the wrong person, and it's horrible. Okay, the marriage ain't the problem. It's the people in the marriage. Okay, if you got two good people that love each other, your marriage is going to be beautiful. It's going to be a blessing from God. But if you got one loving person and a corrupt person, it's going to be a failure. It's going to be a heartbreaking. It's going to be horrible. Okay? But she's never been married, so really she can't speak on marriage. She can speak on relationships because she's been in relationships. Okay? But I'm not going in on Leslie Jones, but let's continue. Because there's going to be a reaction by a woman, a black woman, that gives her 2 cents. And I want to hear other people's opinions. That's why I picked these videos. But let's hear this. Okay?
God, you are crazy.
How am I crazy?
You are crazy.
You're saying that marriage is
No, I don't believe in the marriage. No, I don't.
so you wouldn't get married?
No, and I don't think it's beneficial for a woman at all.
So when I seen this clip, my immediate thought was this quote right here by Alfred Tennyson. The man, this is why it's very important to read books, the page.
Okay, let me stop. This echo or whatever it is, I don't hear it. So it's StreamYard. It's got to be because I got everything shut off. Every electronic device. My phone is shut off. Nobody can call me. I don't know what this echo is. Okay? I apologize for it. It probably is StreamYard because when they charge more for it, they try to add extra stuff and sometimes it messes up other things. I don't know. That could be it. I've done everything I could. I don't hear it on my end. I'm sorry. Okay? I don't know what to say. I mean, I can disenroll in it and re-enroll. Maybe that'll fix it. I don't know why there's an echo. I don't know. Everything on my computer shut off except StreamYards. So there shouldn't be a double feed anywhere. Okay, anyway, let's get back to the show here. Okay, sorry. Because I want to hear this woman's reaction.
Married.
No, and I don't think it's beneficial for a woman at all.
So when I seen this clip, my immediate thought was this quote right here by Alfred Tennyson. The man, this is why it's very important to read books, the pages with words on it. There's a method to my madness, but, it ties the past and the present, and it also sets the conditions for the future. I'm going to make 2 points. Bear with me. Watch me cook. I think this question was posed to me in my comment section of a video a long time ago, but it lived rent free in my mind, and I went ahead and plugged it into AI as far as getting an answer. And the question is, what can we do to bring back the nuclear family, right? And I was like, let me chew on that because I'm not going to give you a response off the top of my head. I am going to do my due diligence in looking that up. You need to have buy-in. It needs to be aspirational and it needs to be appealing to both parties. Unfortunately, women like Leslie Jones, as well as countless other women on the internet, they're not subscribing to the nuclear household or the nuclear family, even though it is best for a child to be raised in a home with both parents. They don't want to. And even though a child raised with both parents have a higher probability of being a productive adult in society, unfortunately, women are not subscribing to that. So, gentlemen, I think the aspiration.
Okay, let me stop right there. I think that's her opinion. Women ain't subscribing to the nuclear family. I don't think that's true. I think the men aren't marrying the women. I think that's the biggest problem. There are some women that don't want the nuclear family. That's true. Um, but what's going on, I think with Leslie Jones is, and I think what she's trying to say is how she feels about marriage is destructive when it comes to children, when it comes to the family, because studies have proven that most children that come from a two-parent household tend to do better. Okay, there's always exceptions to the rules. Okay, but they have a better foundation when you have two parents. They have more resources, more income. When you got a single parent, you got one parent trying to provide everything. And even with some government assistance to help out, it's still a lot rougher than two parents. And even when you have a two parent household, it can get rough at times. Okay? But I do believe that children are better off with two parents. Okay? But I don't think Leslie Jones is looking for a family. I don't. Well, I don't know. I think she wants somebody in her life that loves her. Um, and I don't think that if she found somebody that loved her, I think her opinion on marriage would be a lot different. I really do. Okay. Um, but anyway, I just want to get different people's opinions. All right, I'm going to show this video.
I'm not submissive.
Could you be a trad wife? You like a powerful man.
Okay, now she's going to talk about being submissive, being a trad wife, a traditional wife. That's what a trad wife is. Okay. But anyway, and maybe my echoes in my microphone. I don't know. I'll get rid of it and try that. Let me go ahead and play this.
You like a powerful man.
I do.
So a dominant to your submissive.
I'm not submissive.
Could you be a trad wife is what I'm asking.
Trad wife meaning like I'd be at home and take no.
Like making Oreos from scratch.
I don't absolutely not.
Why not?
Because that's not who the I am, and my daddy didn't raise me like that.
To be a trad wife.
To be anybody's wife.
Okay, let me stop there. I want to stop this real quick. Okay. She says she don't want to be a traditional wife, or well, she said marriage is like slavery, so I'm assuming she don't want the marriage, right? And I think sometimes people say things they don't really mean. I think she's been hurt. I think she's dealing with trauma. It's sad to see, and you know, because there's a man out there that would love her. I think probably she just was with garbage dudes. I think that's what it is. And she says she wasn't raised to be a wife. She said her father did not raise her to be a wife. And I'm thinking, why not? What's wrong with being a wife? Look, you can be a professional and have a career and be a good wife. You can be a traditional wife and have a professional career. Okay, in today's world, a lot of women are like that. Okay, they'll be the stay-at-home wife for a while till the kids get older and then go to their professional career. Uh, that's pretty much what my wife did when we got married. It was all my income from the day we got married till our kids got older, and she could, seek out a career and start doing things. My wife had to put her career on hold because of me, because of my military career, because I was deployed a lot, training a lot. But later on, she was able to establish her career and do amazing things, being very successful. Um, Now, I think her father, and I don't know, I'm just speculating. And she said her father didn't train her to be a wife. And I think a lot of times, and guys, tell me if I'm wrong, in the black community, at times, women are trained to be tough. The black woman is trained to where she's got to get her education, she's got to get a job, she's got to do this, she's got to be able to handle it on her own, and she's got to do this and that. And it's not bad to prepare your daughters to be self-sufficient. Look, me and my wife have trained our daughters to be self-sufficient, but we also trained them to be traditional women and a good wife to a good man one day, right? We taught them both ways. My daughters are highly educated, okay? And we always wanted our daughters to be with successful men that are at their level because we didn't want our daughters to take care of a deadbeat dude, right? And that happens a lot. Okay? But why can a father train her to be a wife? Okay? And so many times I see women like Leslie Jones with her look, her skin tone, and her aesthetics, you might say, uh, being shamed. And what she said, they said she's masculine, okay, and she don't want to be submissive. Yeah, that's a turn off to men, but why would she say that? Is it because that's just how she decided, that's how she feels? Or is it based on trauma? Is it a defense mechanism? I think it's more of a defense mechanism than really how she feels. That's the problem. Training girls to be wives, but not training boys to be husbands. Oh, ouch. But sorry, I got a cold. Yeah, I think you're right. And that is the problem. I agree with that. Because us as men, we need to do better. Because here's the thing. And in so many ways, when we're not doing what we're supposed to as men, women, we kind of create behavior that women have because of how we treat women. Now, if you look at Leslie Jones, okay, she's not an ugly woman, okay? People say, well, she's ugly and she's this and that and dark and, masculine. But she's masculine because I think she's dealing with trauma. It's almost like let's say you take an angry Karen. We know what that is, right? An angry white woman that's privileged and thinks she can have everything her way and just flips out when it don't go her way. Okay, we kind of create that problem, right? Because of how we raise our daughters in the white community, right? There are plenty of white women that are privileged and have it all, but are sweet and don't cause problems. Because they were raised not just with wealth and privilege, but they were raised with accountability. But you get some of these white women that weren't raised with accountability, and they think they can do whatever they want, and the world is theirs. And we kind of create that monster, how we raise our children. Okay? And I think with Leslie Jones, I think her father taught her to be tough and to be resilient. And that's good because she's successful, she has a career, and she's tough. But what about her relationship life? What about finding a good man that loves her? And being able to just rest in that femininity and be with a good man that's going to protect her. What about that? And maybe, and I hate to say this, and I don't know, and I've talked to people about this at work. Believe me, I ask other people what they think about it. And what I've been told is, one person said, you know what? I think what it is her father felt she was ugly as a little girl and didn't think that she would have that marriage life and be a top tier woman that's extremely beautiful that can just land a successful man. So he taught her to be tough. Now, I'm not saying that's what it is because I don't know. But why is this happening? I don't know. But anyway, let's continue.
My dad used to literally say that to me. I didn't raise you to be somebody's wife.
That's so brave.
I don't know if it's brave or smart. Most of the people that I know that's gotten married are divorced now.
And so, really, that's an indictment of the institution.
Yeah. I think marriage has legalized slavery.
You do?
Yes, I do.
Say more, because if I'm thinking about slavery and I'm thinking about marriage, there are two different images that come into my
Absolutely
head.
not. I don't know how you don't. A man is, especially if he's expecting you to be a trad wife, he might as well pull out a whip and a chain.
Wow. So there are young people watching who might be wanting to get married. What would you say to them?
Don't.
When I heard Leslie Jones give this advice to women, I was pretty shocked because she's never been married, not to my knowledge. And so how can you tell a woman not to get married? And just because your father gave you that advice doesn't mean that you should go around giving all women that advice. What broke my heart even more is when I saw women in the comment section who had not been married or had been married saying that it was the worst decision of their life and telling other women not to get married based off of their experience. We sign up to be a wife and we have this picture in our head of how wife looks, how household looks, how husband looks. And those pictures, those stories that we tell ourselves could be furthest from the truth. You build that up and then you try to play that role and put yourself in that position knowing that it's going to take away from you and strip you. And then you have a problem with the position that you signed up for and that you created for yourself. Now, this is just women. I'm not saying all women. Sometimes we go above or beyond and do way too much until we're burnt out as wives and ain't nobody asked us to do that. The other thing is you can also wind up saying yes to the wrong man. That man was not chosen to be your husband, but because you were excited in the moment that he was bringing a ring and wanted to wife you, you decided to say yes. And God didn't choose him to be your husband. So now you spend years with a man that wasn't your husband in the first place, and then those years are miserable. There are some men who cannot lead a household. There are some men who are not great husbands. It's just what it is. It does not mean that marriage is the problem. It means the problem could be the man that you're with. It means the problem could be you. It means the problem can be all of these things, but we will never admit that. Marriage is also not about you. It's not about your husband. It is a greater sacrifice for the purpose and the will of God. And once we get the I out of our mouths, we will understand what the real purpose of marriage is.
Okay, what do you think about what she said? I agree. Look, the problem isn't marriage. Marriage is a beautiful thing. You just got to have two people that are ready for marriage. Two people that love each other more than anything in the world. If you have that, your marriage is going to work. You know, it's not about being perfect and doing the perfect things. It's about having true love for each other, putting each other first. I have a successful marriage. I've been married 32 years. And it's not because I'm a great guy and I do wonderful things. No, I'm an everyday white guy, okay? Um, I do have a big heart. I do, I think I'm a good guy. I have a big heart. I love my wife with all my heart. My wife is totally amazing. She is a blessing from God. And, it takes two people that love each other, that pour into each other, that aren't focused what they get out of the marriage, but what they put in. Okay, I never thought when I got married to my wife, I never thought, oh my God, she's got to be submissive. Is she submit? That wasn't even a thought. I was so in love with my wife. I just wanted to do everything for her I could to make her happy. I wanted my wife to feel good, to be happy, to let her know I love her, to let her know that she's amazing, that she's a blessing from God. And I never thought about what I got out of my wife because her being with me, her being beside me, was such a blessing. I never thought about all these other things that married couples think about. And I think maybe it's because they really don't have true love for each other. Maybe they're looking at what they can get out of marriage instead of what they can put into a marriage. Because when you have true love, what you don't think about self. You think about the one you love, and you want them to have everything because you love them. You want them to be happy. Their happiness is your mission in life. And when you pour that in, and the woman that loves you feels the same way, you're going to be happy. It's going to work. It don't matter what obstacles come in your life. It don't matter what's going on. You're going to make it through. Look, me and my wife, we went through some turmoil. We went through some struggles in our life. But we love each other more than any of our problems, so we get through it. And it builds our bond stronger and stronger. That's what a marriage is. It's about coming together as one. And I'm sad to see that Leslie Jones feels this way. It's heartbreaking. Because, see, I don't think Leslie Jones really feels that way. I don't. I think she's heartbroken. I think there's trauma. I think she's been treated a certain way because of how she looks and her skin tone. And it's sad because people, can't just, have love for each other. If you don't find someone attractive, you can't just leave them alone and move on. You got to trash that person. And I think Leslie Jones has went through that. I think she's been used because she's famous. And she has name recognition. I think some guys have tried to build off that and not really had true love for her. So I think she's hurt. I think she's been burned. Okay? Now there are men out there that would love her and love to be with her. And instead of attacking her for what she said, do we ever try to peel back the layers and try to see where's this coming from? Because she ain't the only one that feels this way. She ain't the only one that thinks marriage is garbage or slavery. She's not the only one. But I see so many videos. Well, she's masculine. Well, she, and they blame her for it. But did she create who she is? Or was she raised in condition to be who she is? And being that men today aren't doing what they're supposed to, it leads to this. And when you don't have good men out there that want to uplift women and make them their wives, then women are going to start losing faith in men. And that's what's happening. And I haven't heard nobody say, you know what? us as men, we created this situation. We need to do better. We need to teach our daughters better. Let them know they're beautiful. Teach them where they can be a good wife. Teach them to be, resilient. You could have them educated in today's world. I'm not against that. Okay? We all got to be tough in today's world. But she can have her femininity and she can be loved. And I think with her, maybe it's a fast life, and maybe it's because she's a celebrity. I don't know. I just don't think she woke up one morning and said marriage is garbage and slavery. I think she's just been hurt. She's been burned. I think if she found a guy that loved her for who she is and embraced her, I think she'd have a different mindset. I do. And based on a lot of her comic material, and if you watch some of those Saturday night skits where she's over sexualized and acting crazy, sometimes comedians will take their personal life and insert it in their comedy. Some of it, they do it to maybe because they're hurt and to laugh at it to kind of make it go away, the pain. I don't know. I'm not saying that's it, but it could very easily be that. Okay? Let me show one more video on Leslie Jones, but my prayers are for Leslie Jones. I don't want any woman to feel that they're ugly or they're less than. It breaks my heart when I see women that don't believe in marriage, and and that's sad because marriage is a beautiful thing. I've been married 32 years, and look, I've embraced every day of it. And some people think it's a weakness because I uplift my wife, because I praise my wife, because I express my love for my wife. And I'm like, what? These people don't even know what love is. I mean, I want my wife to feel like she's the most beautiful woman on earth. I want my wife to feel good about herself. I want my wife to be secure, knowing that I'll always love her till the end of time. But anyway, haters will go and try to spin any blessing they can to try to destroy the blessing you have. Let me show this next video. This is from Crimson Cure, her take on Leslie Jones. Okay, some of the things she says I agree with, though. Okay, let's put this up here.
Leslie's having.
Okay, the problem isn't Leslie Jones' looks. I agree, it's not her looks. I agree with her. She says it's her attitude. Okay, well, what caused her attitude? That's what I'm asking. Let's continue.
The problem that Leslie's having that's preventing her from getting the man that will love her and cherish her is not her looks. I don't care what man looked at her and say she ugly. I don't care how many men look at that woman and say that woman is ugly. There's a man, because you only need one. There's a man that would have looked at her and said, I want her, because she ain't no virgin. There's a...
Okay, what was that? Because she ain't a virgin? Okay. I don't know why she threw that in there. So men are going to go for women because they're not virgins? I caught that. I'm like, what are you talking about? Okay, but anyway, let's continue.
Man. And the only thing that has prevented that all of those years is her low self-esteem that transmutated into misery and hatred.
Oh, let me stop right here. Okay. Staler 99. Okay. She says it's best to be single these days, especially as a black woman. Is it? You know, and maybe for some people it is. That's troubling to me. I don't know. I believe in marriage so much. I hate to see people that, you know, because if you find someone you love and you grow old together and you develop that bond, you have children together, that's such a blessing. And maybe if black women open up their options to other groups of men that are more traditional, that will be more protective, more encouraging, more supportive, could that fix it? I mean, when I see that comment, that breaks my heart, because black women are so amazing. Black women make amazing wives, mothers. Black women are truly a blessing. Look, I look at my wife and I'm like, and she's been a total blessing to me. I look at my mother-in-law, she's been a blessing. And that's been part of the family. And I've been raised traditionally that a man and woman create a family, and you have kids and grandkids, and your family grows. And you know, I know in today's world it sucks. In today's world it's rough. And I know there's colorism and all kinds of garbage out there. And I know women are abused and treated like crap. I know these things. But black women have more value and power than they even know. And I think it's kind of toxic in the black community. And I think the reason is black women outnumber black men by so much that black men get their pick on what they want and don't have to work as hard. Where a black woman's got to be top notch to compete for average. Okay? But if you're open to all groups of men, maybe marriage would be a beautiful thing. I'm just saying, I'm not saying you can't find a good black man to do the right thing. I'm not saying that. I'm just saying the numbers don't favor black women. You know? But thanks for your comment. But that's heartbreaking. I wish that wasn't a thing. But anyway, let's continue.
She don't hate men. She hates that she can't attract men. That's what she hates. She don't hate men. When she say I love men, she do. I believe her. She would love nothing more than to.
Okay, let me say this. She said she hates that she can't attract men. I say no, she can attract men. I think she's going for the wrong type of men. I think that's what it is. Yeah, I don't know. What's that? Something's wrong with that lady. I think people want to hear themselves talk. Oh, is that what it is? Okay. I think there's something wrong, but I don't think it's her fault. And I think she's been in toxic relationships, and I think there's been some abuse. Okay? And maybe we shouldn't talk about it and just let it go, and that just is what it is. Or if you can fix the problem, sometimes you got to talk about the problem. There's something going on. And she ain't the only one that feels this way. She ain't the only one that thinks marriage is garbage because of abuse. I think some people don't want to hear people talk about it. I think some people want us to leave it alone and just leave it as it is and just pretend like there's nothing wrong. Let's
I
continue.
have a beautiful relationship with a man. But you cannot have that relationship with a man if you cannot have it with yourself. You gotta have some kind of better relationship with yourself. And this is coming from a woman who herself suffered from ugly girl complex, self-esteem issues. I have not always liked myself. I have not always liked the way I look. I spent many years, including the majority of my adulthood, feeling like I was ugly and unattractive. And at some point, you have to accept.
Okay, we stop right there. I think, and listen to her talk and everybody talk. I think there's something going on, and why a woman should ever feel like she's ugly. And I've heard people talk, well, you know, she's masculine. Well, you know, no man's going to want her because of what she said, and you know, and it's her fault, and you know, but and this woman, Crimson Cure, she said she had a problem feeling ugly. Why? And I think there's something going on, and I think there's colorism there, where black women that are dark complected feel ugly some way. And I think that crap needs to stop. Okay? It should have stopped with the civil rights movement. Okay? There were racist white people that shamed black people for being dark, but why are black people still carrying on with that? Okay? This should be something that goes away. You can have your preference. Okay, I think it's kind of weird if you love black women to try to figure out if they're light or dark, but okay. That's just dumb to me. And if you have that type of preference, keep it to yourself. It's absolutely nothing wrong with talking about something, but the way people are crashing out is weird. Yeah, it is weird, and I don't mean to. I don't mean to offend nobody. I'm just saying something like this has got to stop. Okay. If Leslie Jones said this thing she said, but she looked like Beyonce, nobody would give a damn. Nobody would talk about it. But because of how she looks, there's a problem. Because they buy into this colorism thing and this masculinity thing and blame women for it because, you know, that's just how they are. They weren't taught that way. You know, I would think black people would be the biggest group that would be so against colorism. Wouldn't they fight it? And if you talked about colorism, they go in on you and just like there's no tomorrow. I never knew colorism existed before I got married, guys. When I married my wife, I started seeing some of my black friends saying, wow, when you go for a black woman, you go all the way. Man, your wife's dark. Whoa, you really love black women, you go all the way. And these are black people telling me this. Like it's some kind of joke. Like it's some kind of bad thing. I never knew what colorism. I just knew a black woman's a black woman. I never gauged her skin tone. And when I heard about it, I thought, okay, that's racist white people doing it. But when my mother-in-law told me, no, black people are doing that. They did it to us back in the 40s and 50s and would hold a paper bag to get in a nightclub. And I said, well, dang, white people were pretty evil then, huh? No, this was black people. And why? And carrying it on. Talk about self-hate. And that's one thing I can say about white men today. You know what? Those of us that love black women, we don't even know the skin tone. We don't even realize it unless it's pointed out to us. You know what's crazy? Is white men today that date black women will embrace black features, black hair, four course hair, dark skin more than a black man will. Are we in the damn Twilight Zone? What the hell happened? And if people saw my video from the past, they would think I was crazy, making up crazy stuff. But it's true. Anyway. What's that? Black women are the biggest colorists, truth be told. Are they really? I haven't seen it. Maybe I see more black women getting shamed for their colorism than for their skin tone than I see black women shaming black men for it. I just don't see it. But either way, it's not something that should be practiced. Anyway, let's continue.
Whatever it is that you feel like are your negative physical traits, and you've got to get in your own heart and get in your own head and dig out the positive stuff.
Okay, I'm going to stop. Okay. I don't want to listen to Crimson Cure all night. Okay, so she made good points, but the thing of it is love yourself. Look, whether you're light or dark skinned, you have nothing to do with it. That's how you were born. Embrace who you are. Love who you are. We are born who we are. We can't control that. All we can do is be the best of who we are. Okay? But I think with Leslie Jones, I think it's deep. I think it's conditioned. I do think there's colorism in that. Okay? And I'm going to talk about two other women tonight. Okay? That have dealt with trauma. I want to talk about two other celebrities. Okay? But before I do, let me show you some pictures. Okay? I'm going to show you pictures of beautiful, famous women, light and dark skin, okay? And who people mostly favor. And I don't think it's because of looks, I think it's because of skin tone, okay? All right, do you guys remember these ladies? The show Martin? Okay, they always made Gina the beautiful one, and Martin looked at Pam as the ugly one because was that colorism? It seemed like the light-skinned black woman was the more desired, and the darker one was the least desired. Both these women are extremely beautiful. Okay, these women are top-tier black women. Okay. But people want to look at their skin tone and say one is better than the other. Yeah, Tisha Campbell and Tashina Arnold. Okay? And these young ladies, they went up the ladder together, starring in movies and TV shows. Both successful women, very beautiful women. Okay, but when you look at the show with Martin, he always clowned Pam, called her ugly. It just seemed like the darker skin was the least attractive. In my opinion, I thought Pam was more beautiful anyway. I never seen Pam as ugly. I couldn't understand that show. Like, what? She's not ugly. But I think it was like a joke based on colorism. Okay? What do you guys think? Do you think Gina's better looking because she's lighter skinned? Now, if you think one is more beautiful than the other, that's fine. Nothing wrong with that. That would be your preference, right? But I think a lot of it's based on skin tone. Okay? How about these women? We all know them, right? Okay, you got Beyonce and Kelly Rowland. Two extremely beautiful women, both famous, great singers. Okay, and here's my opinion. Okay, and nothing to take away from Beyonce, but in my opinion, that's just me, I think Kelly Rowland is slightly more beautiful. I think she's a better singer. And I've listened to both of them sing. And nothing to take away from Beyonce, because Beyonce is, extremely famous and very talented. Both of them are. But, a lot of people would say Beyonce's better looking based on skin tone. And why is Beyonce more famous than Kelly Rowland? I think Kelly Rowland has a better voice. I think she's more talented. But, Destiny's Child, Beyonce's dad controlled it. And, Beyonce had more connections and she became more famous. But if you really listen to him sing, who's really better? And I don't want to say one's better than the other. But, I don't know. Just some food for thought. How about these two young ladies? Okay. And the movie Boomerang, okay, you got Robin Gibbons and Halle Berry. You guys remember this movie, right? Eddie Murphy, he found Robin Gibbons more beautiful, which was kind of the opposite because she's darker complected. And Halle Berry, the biracial woman, the preference, sort of say. So you think it would have went the other way, but it didn't. Okay? In my opinion, I think Halle Berry's more beautiful than Robin Gibbons. So some people say, well, Roadrunner, you like the dark-skinned women. No, it's not about that. That's just an opinion. But both beautiful women. But anyway. But this was a movie that was kind of the opposite of the everyday skin tone, because he favored the black woman over the biracial woman. Anyway, but go ahead and pull that down. Okay. All right, now that we're done talking about Leslie Jones, I want to show you a couple other black women. You never seen Halle Berry as light skin? Really? Okay. I always thought she was a black woman. I didn't think she was biracial till I found out that her mom was white. But okay, who cares anyway? But anyway, if that light and dark skin stuff wasn't pointed out to me, I wouldn't even be looking at that at all. Back then, we just thought she was black. Yeah, we did. I did too. I never thought she was biracial. I didn't. And that's okay. I mean, who cares? I mean, and I think that's kind of like the how we look at things. And I think as white people, I think me as a white man, when I would see black women and they had like black features, I just think that's a black woman. I wasn't looking at light or dark skin. And there were biracial women that I just thought were black. They were out there. Because that's our mindset. You know, we always thought about biracial as black. We never thought of biracial people as dark-skinned white people. We always thought of them as light-skinned black people. I mean, that's just the mindset. We could have went the other way with it. You know? I'm just saying. I mean, anyway. That's funny. I might start calling biracial people dark-skinned white people. Do you like light or dark-skinned white people? I mean, could I say that they're biracial, right? They're both. But white supremacy determined that if you weren't 100% white, you're not white. It's funny how black people are saying that. If you ain't all black, you ain't black. Who cares? We're even put labels on people. Anyway. All right. I want to show you this video of Viola Davis. Okay. Viola Davis is a famous actress, a black woman. We all know who she is. She's a beautiful woman and she's very successful. But she has dealt with trauma based on her skin tone. Okay? And it's disturbing. Okay? In this video, she talks about being shamed as a little girl, feeling ugly because of her skin tone. This should never happen. But anyway, let me put this up here.
I didn't want to be my mother's.
Okay.
As much as I didn't want to be my mother's daughter, I was very much my mother's daughter. I was still very much traumatized by the past. I very much was that little girl running from 8 to 9 boys who were always calling me, you black, ugly, you're ugly, you're black, you're this. It still very much was internalized in me, and it manifested itself through low self-esteem, through bad relationships, with not believing in myself.
How did you get out of that darkness into the light, into the dream?
2 things, okay? Number 1, there's a difference between having a goal and having a purpose. It's a vision for a future that is living a life that is heroic.
Okay. Pretty dramatizing, right? And you think, okay, these were white supremacist white boys doing this. I've heard in many videos she said that there were black boys telling her this. Okay? There are black people that will shame black people for their skin tone. Okay? And why is that? I mean, we'll call it out if white people do it right, and we should. But why don't people address it when black people do it? That to me is like self-hate. It's like hating who you are. And believing that you're lighter, somehow you're better. And it blows my mind that that's even a thing. Like, you hate white supremacy, but you kind of endorse it. I'm just, wow. I'm just saying, it makes no sense. I mean, why? I don't know. Maybe it's conditioning, years and years, through family, through trauma, and believing, you know, the closer to whiteness is, the better you are. and it's sad because you think black people would embrace the black features, the black hair, the black skin tone, right? I have more love for black features than a lot of black people do, and that's crazy. Anyway, okay. Well, I love black women, so okay. But anyway, I understand where she's coming from. I was brutally bullied by black boys from my skin tone dark, and that's sad. That should never be. You would think that black people would not put up with that. But instead, there are black people that do put up with it and actually encourage it. And that's wrong. Anyway, okay, a lot of trauma going on. I'm going to show you this other video. And you guys know Fantasia, right? And I'm going to talk a little bit about Fantasia. I'm going to talk about the color purple and what I found offensive and what somebody asked me, and it was interesting. Okay? But let me play this through, and I'm going to explain it. Okay?
Here, I'm here. Everybody can relate because we've all been through some things. And for me, I tap into my grandmother when I sung it on set.
You were thinking about your grandmother.
Yeah. Strong black woman. She's not with us today, but I know she's watching. See her with me. So I tap into her, I sing it for her. I know what she went through. I know her story. So I'm singing for every black woman who's been through something, who's been told that they're nothing, they will never be nothing, that they're ugly because of the color of their skin. I'm singing it for them. And I want them to walk out of the theater, and I want them to know that they are queens. And if it had not been for the women who came before us and paved the way, we wouldn't be here today. Thank you. And I want all the young women to know you can do this. You're beautiful just the way God made you. No matter what a man says, no matter what you've been through, that is your testimony. Use it. Don't let it break you. Use it. You were asking me how I was healed. And I realized at the end of the movie that I was able to forgive everyone who hurt me.
Wow.
When Celie sends Mr. an invitation to the Easter dinner.
Wow. Fantasia. Wow.
She sends him an invitation. And she's sitting there and she's happy and she's joking with him about his pants.
Yeah.
She has a heart of forgiveness.
Yeah.
I was able to walk away and forgive from my childhood to my father. I was able to forgive. So I'm free now. Thank you for asking me to do it again. Because at first I said, I can't. But I told you I asked God, show me something different this time. And he did.
Yeah. And I think that is one of the most powerful messages of this movie. When you say that people will come away and be healed, I think one of the most powerful healing experiences is this admitting of the message of forgiveness.
Yes.
Forgiveness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
And so people walk in there and, as you know, that you forgive not for the other person, you're forgiving for yourself to be released. And everybody can relate to that in their own family. You were saying that when you're singing I'm Here, you're doing it for every woman who's been through something, every person who's been through something and can still say that.
Okay, let me stop there. Okay, this interview with Oprah, they're talking about some of the trauma Fantasia went through. Okay, if you look at her life, right, she's a very talented singer. She's famous. You know, she made it big. But she came from a humble beginning. Okay. I think at 18 or 19, she was a single mother. Okay. Um, she was abused, dealt with being essayed. Okay. Um, very toxic situation she went through. She said her family wasn't concerned about schooling. She dropped out of school, so she didn't finish high school, but she could sing really good. And that's what they were concerned with, her family, okay? And nothing wrong with, singing and trying to improve it and, maybe have a career in it one day, but I think education should come first. But it wasn't that way with her. She was a young teenage mother, looked like it wasn't going good for her, and she ended up making it, becoming famous. American Idol, she won that, and that just springboarded her career to where she is today. Okay? But she talks about trauma, being a black woman, being a black girl growing up, and what she went through. And speaking of the movie Color Purple, she was in the new one, she was playing the woman Celie, right? And the Color Purple, I love that movie. I love the original one. I thought it was a good movie. I know the NAACP, they're supposed to get a bunch of awards because it was great acting. It was a good movie. But the NAACP got a hold of it, and they didn't like that it put such a negative image on black people. Okay? But let's be honest. Back in the day like that stuff happened. Okay? And black people did do some corrupt stuff. And it's not a racial thing. There were white people that did the same thing that happened in The Color Purple. It was, back in the day, it was a societal thing. Because back in the day, women couldn't, the men worked, and, if you, and women wanted to marry a man that was successful, had a career, had resources, because that depended on how you and the children were going to live. That was important. I think women back there were more picky on the men they choose because that's who they're stuck with. Okay? Back in the day, women couldn't just, they're in an abusive relationship, leave and go get help, go to, a woman's shelter and seek help for her and her children because the guy's abuse. That wasn't around. A lot of women dealt with abuse. Okay? And it's not a color thing. It was a societal thing. And if you study history and things that went on that, women were abused. And a lot of women put up with the abuse because they didn't know where they were going to go. They were afraid that they wouldn't be able to eat so they dealt with an abusive man. And, it's sad to say that, but that stuff did happen. But there were a lot of good men that took care of their wives and families, don't get me wrong, but there were abuse. We have abuse in today's world. Okay, it comes more to the open because of technology and because women can get away a lot easier than they could back then. And maybe that's why the marriages lasted longer, not because they were so much loving marriages, maybe because women felt they were stuck in it and dealt with abuse. I don't know. I'm just saying. Just saying. Sometimes we think the past was so much better, but we don't see the whole truth. Maybe yesterday wasn't so good, and maybe today ain't so bad if you really think about it. I'm just saying. Just my thoughts. But with Fantasia, I did a video on The Color Purple and talking about the old one and the new one. And I like the new one too. I just didn't like the musical thing. I'm not into musicals. I can't stand musicals. Watching a movie and they got to break out into a song. I don't know. Some people like that. I want something more realistic. And The Color Purple, the new one would have been great, like the old one. I thought the old one was a great movie. Okay, um, people didn't like it because it put negativity on black people. But that was society. White people were abusive too, just like the black community. Um, so, and that wasn't everybody, but there were pockets of abuse. Okay, I thought the movie was great. The Color Purple back in the day, I loved it. But there were sad parts about it. And the new one, the remake would have been much better if it wasn't a musical, in my opinion. Um, but I made a comment. I said when I did a little reaction on that movie, and I think that was like a couple what years ago. Well, when the movie came out, I did a reaction. But I said, Fantasia, why is she silly? She's not ugly. Like, in my opinion, she's not. And it was like, and a black woman came on, my channel came up on hit the link and said, you think she's beautiful, attractive? I said, yeah, I do. She said, you do? I said, yeah, she's very attractive. That's interesting. And I thought about that. I'm like, I don't see ugliness in Fantasia. But is it because maybe black and white people see things different? Because I see some black dudes with white women and they talk like they're fine. I'm like, oh, okay. I'm just like, I'm not impressed, but they are. Maybe there's something going on. Anyway, I just like... Anyway, I'm kind of drifting here. But the thing of it is there is a colorism problem, okay? And my thing is, what's that? The Color Purple told the brutal truth about the lives in Southern black women's survival, the black community, and racism. So, yeah, I mean, yeah, and there was racism too. There were, and I think what I like about the movie Color Purple is it was brutally honest. Okay, I don't like to see black people portrayed in a negative light. I don't want to see, but it was honest. It told the brutal truth and history. Okay, and I like movies that are honest. Even slave movies or movies that deal with racism. If it shows white people in a negative light and the evils they did, if they're honest, I'm all for it. But I'm about history, learning what really how I want to know. But yeah, things were brutal, and maybe more so in the South than any other part of the country. You know, I ain't going to say that's how it is because I wasn't there, but anyway. But my thing, there's something going on. Sorry, guys, I'm really congested. I'm trying to kick this. I got congestion going on and I'm stuffy. I hope my voice don't sound too crazy. But anyway, I just wanted to talk about this tonight. Leslie Jones, I think people need to look at what's causing what she's saying instead of going in on her. Okay? I think she's dealing with some trauma. I think she's dealing with some hurt. And, us as human, we all go through hurt and pain, right? And we all deal with a bad relationship in our life. Whether you're a man or woman, black or white, they're just human nature, right? But the thing of it is, before we go in on anybody, how about let's find out what's causing it? I'm just saying, look at it. But anyway. Hey, Shelly, how's it going?
It's going good in yourself?
I'm doing good. I I just want to talk a little bit about this Leslie Jones thing and colorism, and I think Leslie Jones. I think she's dealing with hurt and pain. I don't think she really thinks the way she's talking. I think if she was with the guy that treated her right and loved her, I think she would be for marriage. But because of the situation she's been in, her relationships, I think that's why she feels the way she does. Now, I don't know if that's true. I'm just speculating. I'm just saying what I think. But anyway, but I'm just going off what she said, and I'm going off some of the her comedy material she's talked about. Some of it she's over sexualized. Some of those Saturday night skits. Some things she says about dealing with men. I don't know if that's connected, but I think it could be. Anyway, but it's good to have you, Shelley.
It's good to be here. I'm glad that you allowed me to come up. We got to fix this echo thing because it's like I'll watch the
Yeah.
replays and you can't really hear me. But yeah, I made a comment in the comment section, and I just feel like people are crashing. Now, not you. I didn't say you.
Yeah.
Um, but that woman is like she's bugged out. Okay, Leslie Jones said what she said, but that's her opinion. You know what I mean? Like that's how she feels. And whether or not she has like bad experience with men, that's how she feels. It's she's not telling women. At least I didn't hear her tell. Hello, hello. I don't know what's going on.
Can you hear me okay? Hello? Hey, Shelly, come back up. If I tried to change my sound to get rid of that echo, and I think it muted me. But yeah, come on back up here. You guys can hear me, right? You hear me? I'm just trying to fix that. Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you. That was
Okay.
weird. It just
Yeah, well,
I got
what I
kicked off.
did, yeah, what I did is I unplugged my microphone and tried to go to the computer
Uh huh.
microphone, see if I could get rid of that echo.
Oh,
Um,
okay.
that's what I was
Yeah.
trying to do because I was starting to hear it. But
Mm.
is it still echoing? I don't know what's causing it. I
Yeah,
mean,
but in the chat, people are saying they can hear me good. So
oh, okay. I hear you
yeah,
just fine. I hear you really good. But I'm
yeah.
sorry you got booted off. I didn't kick you. I just
No, no,
unplugged
it's
my
okay.
microphone, see if I
Yeah,
could fix it that way.
yeah.
Um,
But I was just saying that that was Leslie Jones's opinion,
right.
and she has the right to feel the way that she feels.
Right.
There's thousands of housewives that come online every day talking about how bad their marriage is, how hard it is to have children and whatever. And It's her opinion. The woman asked her how she felt, and she voiced her opinion. She's not telling. Well, at least I didn't see the whole interview, but from what I saw, and correct me if I'm wrong, what did she tell other women not to get married?
Yeah, well, what happened is in the interview. What happened is in the interview, she says, "Well, you said marriage is like modern day slavery. So what about the young women that are thinking about marriage?" And she said, don't do it." So she was encouraging other women not to get married.
Okay.
But
Well, people are gonna do what they wanna do anyway. So her saying to women don't, it's not gonna make women not get married because there's a lot of women that do want to get married. Just like how there's a lot of women that don't want children. But guess what? That's that's not gonna stop. There's a lot of women that I'm not.
yeah, I hear you.
Oh,
I
there's
hear
a
you.
lot of women that don't want to have children, but that's not going to stop other women from not having children. You understand what I'm saying? So I just think that people are in a up like people are outraged, but you're gonna do what you want to do. I just feel like the crashing out that some people are doing is uncalled for because at the end of the day, there's still going to be women that's going to get married this year. That's it's spring, I guess. I don't know if it's summertime yet. I think it's spring, and there's going to be women that's planning their wedding. And they're going to do what they want to do. That's her opinion. Um,
Yeah, right. No, you're
can
absolutely
can you
right.
hear me?
Yes, I hear you just fine.
Okay, yeah. So I just feel like that's she was just talking about her experience. Maybe like you said, maybe if she meet a nice guy, maybe her mind will change. But at the same time, that is her experience. Just like how Fantasia was talking about her experience and Viola Davis was talking about her experience, right? I feel like people should talk about their experience and people, crash. I don't know. I just don't look at it as something that's gonna crash about it. It's whether you do, whether you don't. If you don't want to get married, don't. If you want to get married, then do. You know what I'm saying? Nobody's holding. I don't want to say that a pow pow to somebody's head and be like, don't do it. You know what I mean? It's just her experience. And like I said, these women out here ain't choosing the bear. If you get the hint, what I'm saying, ain't nobody woman choosing the bear. Every woman I know, they're in relationships, they're in situationships, they love men. I don't believe that there's a male loneliness epidemic. I believe, there's always a woman for every man. A man could come up in here and be like, I believe in a handmaid's tale. Um, I believe that. I believe, women should, get pregnant. You know, this whole thing about, girls not getting pregnant between the age of 15 and 19. There's always going to be a woman that's going to be in that man's life. And, nothing is going to stop anything unless it stops. Like, you know what I mean? Like, people going to do what they want to do regardless of what. That's her opinion. And again, that's how I look at it. I don't feel I'm not gonna crash out on what Leslie Jones said. Why? Because there's women online that complain about their marriage. There's women online.
Right. Right. Did you mute yourself? You muted.
Yeah, because there's noise in the background.
Oh,
I didn't
okay.
want you to hear it.
Oh, okay. No worries. Okay, yeah, I didn't know if you were done talking because. All right. Okay. Yeah. What you're saying? Yeah, it's their opinion. Everybody's going to have an opinion. Um, and I'm okay with that. I just think, in my opinion, because everybody's got their opinion on this thing, and they talk about she's masculine, she's not submissive, and I think this comes from a place. I don't think Leslie Jones. I and I've heard other black women say the same thing she does. It's not just a Leslie Jones thing. I think it's a conditioning thing. I think, and instead of looking, and for me, I'm trying to figure out why is she saying it. Like I'm trying to find out where it's coming from, more than what she said. Yeah, if she said she ain't going to attract a man by saying, yeah, she's not submissive and she can fight. That's not really attractive when when men, are approaching women. I get that. But I don't think that's really how she feels. Now, I don't know the woman, okay? But I think there's some hurt there. And I know enough black women that have been hurt that they do get defensive. Well, anytime any of us are hurt, we get defensive, right? It's a defense mechanism, and I think that's what's happening. Okay, now with the marriage thing, a marriage can be great or it could be a disaster. It depends on the people. It takes two people to make a marriage work. It only takes one to destroy it. I mean, you got to have two people that truly love each other for a good marriage. Um, but Leslie Jones can have it. There'll be a man that loves her. There's somebody for everyone, just like you said. And I say that within your racial group or interracially, whichever way you go, whoever you fall in love with. That's your business. And there's nothing wrong, whatever way you go. The thing of it is you need to find someone that loves you back. That's the key. And my thing is I just hate seeing black women having low self-esteem, feeling ugly because they're dark skinned. To me, that is stupid, and that is evil to make people feel that way. Um, and I'm telling you, other men do not see black women that are dark skinned as ugly. We don't at all. We embrace black women's features. We embrace how black women look, how they talk, how they function. Everything about black women we love. Those of us that love black women, okay? And we don't. And the crazy thing is colorism came from white supremacy, but white people aren't seeing the colorism. It's but black people are. What's going on? Is there something I missed? Go ahead.
No, it's the lack of accountability within the black community, and this is why the divestment movement was started. And I think it was the week before I brought it up about what true divestment was. And it it never started out as just dating white men or out of your race. It was to move away from the toxicity within the black community, and the black community is black male identified. Everything is done for the black male. The black male gaze. Police brutality. Oh my God, they killed an unarmed black man. Oh my, you know what I mean? And let's march, let's march. That could have been my son, but yet still. Thousands of black women are going missing every day, but no black woman is coming out, or no black fathers, or that could have been my black daughter or my black mother. It's centered around being protective of black males, who are themselves are not even protecting themselves, right? I brought up last week, where I brought up, a couple of days ago, when I brought up the Chrissy's video about what Kendra G said. She would never date a white man because of what happened in slavery, and she went to Ghana and she saw this and that. And you and I both was like, well, what about the black men that sold their other tribesmen into slavery? But we're going to overlook that. So she was sending out a bird signal to black men, like, I agree with interracial dating, but not me. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? It's like she don't want to offend black men, but this is the toxicity that divested Cynthia G. Chrissy's talking about why they was telling black women to move away from that, like, just because in the black community black men might not find you attractive does not necessarily mean that you cannot go out of the community and find that. You understand what I'm saying? And a lot of black women don't want to move out of that because number one, of so-called white supremacy, and racism, and number two, it's out of their comfort zone. You know what I mean? They're comfortable um, where they are. They would complain, but they're not going to do anything about it. They would stand there in the mud and complain. Oh my God, I'm sinking in the quicksand. But you would think that they would like, let me get up out of here. Let me not walk into this quicksand. So it's a lot of toxicity. But that's what it's about.
Right. You know what was funny about what you said? You said the comfort zone, and I could tell you this. Um, when it comes to white men, okay, there's a lot of white men that don't date out or open up their options, and it's the same thing, the comfort zone. Okay, and I hate to say that. I would like to tell you, us white men, we're just coming for black women because we love you and we want you to be our wives. I dream about that day. But truth be told, a lot of white men would love to date black women, but they don't. Why? A lot of it has to do with the comfort zone. It's easy to date Asian women, Hispanic, Arab. Nobody cares in today's world. But black women, that's another story. Okay? And it's not really coming from the white community much anymore. It's actually coming from the black community. All the shaming we see black women go through. Not only that, when we express love for black women, and if you speak up for a black woman, you're going to get attacked. Ever since I started this channel, I've gotten death threats. I've had people, just be brutally rude. And this started back in the day when I was just talking about how amazing black women are and, talking about me and my wife. I wasn't talking about the other things that are going on. I wasn't talking about black femicide. I wasn't talking about how black women were being mistreated. I was just expressing how I love black women. And I got so much hate, Shelly. And you know what's crazy? It didn't come from white supremacists, Klan members coming for me. No. It didn't come from white women that hated what I said. Well, there's a couple that came in there. And black women, they weren't showing me hate. It was coming from black men. Okay? And it blew my mind because I thought, okay, black men date white women and marry white women more than us white guys do. Why do you hate it when we do it? I couldn't understand. I was like, wait, aren't we on the same team? We both open up our options. We love somebody of a different race. And that's where my mindset was. It was innocent. It was like, hey, black dude, you're like me. You like white women? I'm married to a black wife. We got something in common. We're able to love somebody that's different. But I come to find out it's not about that a lot of times. It's about feeling dominant. It's about feeling like you're most desired, like you're somehow outdoing the white dude. Where me, I never thought I was outdoing no black guy because I have a black wife. I just love my wife. It was just, I don't know, I think, but this has stirred me up, and sometimes my content goes a little harsh, and I'm not trying to go there, but when I see black women being shamed and abused, who's doing it the most? What am I supposed to do? Sit back and not say nothing? So I'm probably like in a catch-22 here, trying to be the good guy and trying to just be a channel of love and open up your options. But because of the haters I haven't been able to do that fully. Does that make sense? I don't know.
no, and this is why like I'm gonna keep on saying it. This is why the divestment movement was started to get black women to see that they're being abused. You know, that colorism. One moment.
What was that? I'm sorry. I got.
No, there was some noise in the background. No, but this is your channel is a safe space, and whoever is gonna come over here, whoever's gonna complain, they're gonna complain. They hate black women. They really do. They don't want to see black women get loved on. You understand what I'm saying? They don't want to see black women live a soft life because they just feel like black women is supposed to struggle. Like black women is supposed to take struggle love. Um, you know, you know, this whole build a man thing. We can talk about this another day, but like this whole build a man thing, and you know, most of the time they do leave you for the woman that they truly want. But I gotta go, and but I have like maybe 5 more minutes. I just wanted to. I started to say about how the black community have a lack of accountability, and the reason why I say that is because black people would talk about how white supremacy is bad, while simultaneously talk about practice colorism. And like you said, you don't understand it. You're like, how can you? White supremacy, yeah, okay, they started colorism or whatever, but then you continue it though. If it's wrong, then why do you continue that? And another content creator was talking about that, and she said, her name is Lovely T. And she said that it's funny how black people could talk about white supremacy and how they didn't like being treated and how white supremacy was bad, but then you continue white supremacy by continuing to talk bad about dark skinned black people. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's either you're a victim or you're not. And then that's what I don't understand. It's a lack of accountability. Just like the NAACP was talking about, the color purple was a bad look on the black community. No, what they said was that the color purple was a bad look on black men. Again, the black community revolves around the protection of black men. And so they didn't like how black men was portrayed, right? But these are the things that was going on. And you can say, oh, that's not what they said, that's what they meant. Okay, I'm black, I know. Okay?
Right.
They did not like how black men was
But
depicted in that show. And this is what you can't change a people if you don't hold them accountable. Like in the black community, this is how the hierarchy goes: dark skinned black men, light skinned black woman, mixed black woman, or biracial woman, light skinned black men, and dark skinned black woman. That's the hierarchy. The dark skinned black woman is at the bottom. Okay? And the dark skinned black man is on the top because they look at being dark skinned as being masculine. You know what I mean? So, like you said,
yeah.
if Leslie Jones was damn who oh yeah, that's my girl though. I didn't want to bring her up, but if Leslie Jones was a Zendaya, it wouldn't have gotten so much back. It's because she is dark skinned, and I agree. It's because she's darker, and a lot of people don't find her attractive. If she was an attractive dark skinned woman, yeah, but they don't look at her as being feminine. And it has to do with her skin complexion, because I'm pretty sure if it was a Zendaya that said it, it would not have gone down that way, But that's the thing. It's that's why I always put white supremacy in quotation, because it's like I don't understand how you're going to talk about white supremacy, but then you continue white supremacy by you know just being discriminative of people in your own race. Like, even I put in the chat, even Kanye was like, there wouldn't be any video vixens if there wasn't any mixed biracial women. And he's forgiven for that. It's okay that he could say that because that's his opinion. That's what I'm saying. That's Leslie Jones's opinion. But when black men can get away with saying a whole bunch of things, and they get away with saying that because of other black women that won't stand up and say, "Hey, we're not going to support you because what you're saying is evil. You can't, that's unacceptable." Chris Brown is still around because there's black women that's willing to go to his shows. And it's not going to stop if black women don't make it stop, and they won't make it stop. And that's my pet peeve with black women. It's like sometimes I feel like giving up on black women because like you're complaining about it, but then you're not doing anything about it. Like, why is he still there? Like, you know what I mean? Like, but yesterday they want to cancel Chili and the TLC salt and pepper tour because Chili likes a comment on was it TikTok or Instagram? They would, but people like Chris Brown and somebody put in the chat who was the rapper that came out recently and said it's very hard to find a dark skinned black woman, but yet and still you would have black women still supporting him. I'm telling you, it's because it's a black woman. Look at Cam Newton. Cam Newton have like how many baby moms, and he's still under, and black women would still go on his show and support him. He doesn't believe in marriage. And you have Kendra G was still going to the show, was still going to the podcast and talk to him. But black women, we don't get grace, we don't get forgiveness. You want to cancel TLC? What is the woman name that somebody put in the chat that she sang Maybach music? I forgot her name. She's still canceled to this day because she supported Trump. You know what I mean? It's like black women is hated in the community, but black women don't wanna leave the community. They're comfortable there. They like the. I think to one of my other another YouTuber of mine that she came on and she said that black women love the abuse. Black women love it because if you don't love it, then why don't you put a stop to it? They like it. They like being abused because they keep going on these men podcasts. These men don't like you. They tell you all the time, you're ugly, your pee stink, every other woman is better. And then you go on their podcast anyway and give them attention. But sorry, Brent,
No,
I
no
gotta go, but
worries.
I'm gonna still be listening, but I
Okay.
can't talk.
Okay, no worries.
Okay. I'm sorry.
It was good talking to you. Okay,
Okay.
I just want to react on what you said, but I'll do it when you drop down. Um,
Okay. I got 5 minutes. Go ahead real quick.
oh yeah, I was just going to say, gosh, I'm kind of.
I said a whole lot. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what I was
I'm
going to say because
sorry.
I wanted to say it so bad. I was just like,
I'm sorry. I just kept going on. I'm sorry. I just wanted to get it off my chest because this thing is like, it's just
right.
something I just wanted to talk about. Like the unaccountability, black woman enabling this attitude.
Oh, yeah, it came back to me. No, what I wanted to say is, I think a lot of what's going on with what you were saying with them, it kind of going back to the abuse and, um, like they love it even though they're being canceled or dragged or whatever. I think a lot of people, and I think this is a human thing that happens a lot, that when somebody shows you true love, when you're being treated the way you should be, you're being loved how you should be, you're being uplifted how you should be. I think a lot of people think it's not genuine. I think a lot of people think it's a lie. And I can talk about my experience. When I come on YouTube, people think, "Oh, okay, you love black women, you love your wife, yeah, whatever." They don't believe it because it sounds too good. Okay, and look, me and my wife are human, and we got a great marriage. Okay, we're not perfect people, but you can find someone you love that loves you back, and it does work. We people, I think people don't believe the success I talk about. I think because people expect the worst. I think as individuals, we expect to be let down. We expect people to hurt us. I think we think a lot of times if love don't hurt, it's not true love. If we don't go through the pain, we're not really loved. You know, and that ain't true. It's like
I see your point. Yeah.
it's like we expect the worst, and if it's not the worst, then it's too good to be true, and it's not real. Um, I think that's really what's going on. I think a lot of black women, a lot of times, they don't want to get out of their comfort zone. They stay with black men, even though they're they're being taken for granted and deal with abuse here and there. They think, well, that's the only men that can love them. And if love ain't painful, then it ain't true love. And they get with a white guy that treats them like a queen. They sometimes they think, oh, okay, that's not. They think there's some other agenda, like a fetish or a lustful thing going on or something else. Um, and there are white men that will lust after black women and objectify them and fetishize them. Um, but a lot of white men that are into black women, they just love black women. They just want to be with a black woman. I just wanted to be with a black woman. I was looking for a wife when I opened up my options. I prayed to God for a black wife, not because she was black, but because of the character I seen in black women, because of the love I seen in black women, because I felt true love. I felt like there was something there. And the thing is I expressed that, and people always thought I was lying, that it wasn't real. They thought because I was pursuing black women in my younger days that it was some lust thing. It was something I was caught up in. But that's where my true heart was. Look, and going back, people look back and say, there was something happening there. You were right. You got a good wife. Your marriage lasted longer than all of ours. What's your secret? I said, well, I invested in the black woman. That's the secret. And they're like, oh, okay. But, and I don't mean to be funny. Of course, you got to choose the right black woman because there's corrupt people in all groups. But from what I've seen, from my experience, and this comes from being a child, people think that I'm into black women because some black woman got a hold of me sexually and did something to me, and then I turned out to be black woman crazy. It didn't. That was not it at all. I fell in love with black women when I was 4 and 5 years old. My mom said I did earlier, but okay. But my point is I fell in love the right way. I had the emotional connection. I had a bond. I had the spiritual before I could ever even think about desiring a woman. And that's why my relationship works. And that's why I could see the true beauty in the black woman. I could see the character. Now, don't get me wrong. I see that in other women too. But there's something special about the black woman. And I feel that I need to say it because there is a blessing people are passing up. There's that hidden treasure people don't know about. And the black women, you can go anywhere you want. Society might not say you're the beauty standard because most society's white, but you can be the most desired. The problem is black women are so locked down to the black man that a lot of us, other groups of men, don't have access to you. And a lot of us feel you don't want us anyway, so we stay where we're at. I mean, that's the honest to God truth. Now,
I agree.
But go ahead, I'm sorry.
What you're saying. I was just saying that I agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, but I don't want to keep you too long, Shelly. I just had to get that out because I see so many things. I see something beautiful. from black women to white men that could come together and build and have a beautiful marriage, a beautiful life, and have everything they want in life. We got the foundation. We are the leadership of our communities. We are the backbone. When two backbones get together, when two positives, there ain't nothing we can't accomplish. Look, my people say I have white privilege. Okay, whatever. My privilege didn't begin till I married a black woman. My success didn't take off till I married a black woman. I didn't improve my life till I married a black woman. Okay? Now, I know that's not everybody's story, but damn it, I'm going to tell the story. This ain't a story. This is my testimony. This is real life experience. I'm married to a black woman, 32 years. I'm not coming online saying this. When I talk about swirling to investment, I'm not just promoting it. That is my life. That is me. That is the honest to God truth about me. I'm not selling a fantasy. I'm telling you my life story. And my thing is, and look, I'm not out here promoting white men at all. Okay? I'm not telling black women, just go get you a white man. No, I'm telling black women, open up your options to all men. Okay? And B, set yourself up to where you can go where you want to go. Make it about you. You are the treasure. You are the prize. Make it about you. You don't owe anybody anything. You don't owe people that have the same skin tone as you a damn thing. You don't own your community a damn thing. You don't own your father a damn thing, your son, your cousin, your uncle. You owe yourself to live your best life. And I say, once black women figure that out, I'm not saying don't love your family. Love your family. But do what's best for you. What's best for your life? What's going to make you happier? What's going to give you more in life that you desire and deserve? But I tell you what, and those that say that you have self-hatred because you open up your options, they're a damn lie. Because those of us that open up our options have the most love for ourselves because we can go against society, against the grain, against everything to have what we want in life. Black women are the best option, and I love myself so much that I go for what I want and what's best for me and not what society thinks I should do. I'm sorry, Shelley. I went on a little bit of a rant.
No, it's okay. It's cool. All right. I just wanted to say, I agree with what you said, and I just continue to do your show. Like I said, people are gonna do what they want to do. People are gonna say what they want to say, and it's not gonna stop anything. So again, I love you. Thanks for doing what you're doing. Say hi to Sandy for me, and good night, chat. Love you.
Okay, thank you so much. It's good seeing you, Shelley. It's always good talking to you. And have a good night. And okay. And guys, hey, you guys have a good night. It's a nice night. It rained a little bit. I got the window open back here, getting fresh air in my little studio. But my thing is, okay, I want, pray for Leslie Jones, okay? And other black women that feel like she does. Or anybody else shamed for their skin tone. That's not good, okay? God created us different skin tones, light, dark, in between. And that's good. Colors are beautiful, okay? We were created that way because God wanted us to be that way. We're creating God's image. Okay? We're all, and we're different colors. Nothing wrong with that. And there's nothing wrong with blending colors either. Okay? My thing is I hate seeing black women being shamed because of skin tone, how they look. And I feel bad for Leslie Jones. I don't. I think there's hurt there. I think there's trauma. Okay. And the reason I believe that is there are garbage men in today's world that treat women like crap. Okay? And like I said, there's somebody for everybody. And when somebody finds love, respect that. Okay? If somebody's happy with who they're married to, be happy for them. Respect that. I got some jokers that are attacking me and, going after me because I'm married to a black woman. They don't like that. And trying to say I'm a fetishizer, even though I've been married 32 years. But they can't be happy for me. They want me to fail so bad. They make up stories. They create stuff in their head and go online and lie. I mean, they could do that if they want to, but when they get in their situation, their relationship, don't be surprised if things don't work out. When you trash people and you wish bad things on people, it comes back to you. Okay? I love my wife with all my heart. I praise her a lot. She deserves it. She's been there for me. It's not unusual. Some people think it's a weakness because I love on my wife. Isn't that what love is about? Uplifting each other? My wife praises me when she's with her friends or at work because she loves me. Just saying, love who you love. Don't let anybody discourage you. Open up your options. Don't be afraid to get out of that comfort zone. You might find the love of your life. Okay? Now, I'm not telling you go and just open up your options and do it. Be with who you want to be with. Okay? But do not shame somebody because they opened up their options. Do not shame people because they don't agree with you. Okay? Anyway. Tonight's show, I hope you guys enjoyed it. And there is a colorism problem. There really is. And thing of it is we need to stop that. And if we don't participate in it, shame the idiots that do. Go cancel somebody that is making fun of a black woman that because she's dark-skinned. Can we cancel people for that? We can cancel people on religion and politics, but can we cancel people that attack black women for a skin tone? How about that? Are we just going to let that go? Anyway, guys, you have a good night. I want to say a prayer. I forgot to say a prayer last night. But anyway, let me just say a prayer, and I'll go ahead and dismiss. And I'll see you guys Saturday night, okay? Lord, thank you so much for allowing me to be on YouTube and do this show, Lord. I pray that we would uplift black women, love them, give them the respect they deserve, Lord. And I pray that you give us the courage to check people that attack black women for their skin tone or their features, Lord. Lord, you know I feel black women are the most beautiful. I pray to you, Lord, for a black wife. You know this, Lord. And I pray that you would uplift black women, Lord. And I pray you would encourage people and uplift them, that they could open up their options. If they love somebody of a different group, Lord, that you would give them the courage to do that and to give love and receive love. Lord, I pray you'd make our country a better place, a more loving place. A place where both black and white people could come together and be brother and sister, be husband and wife, be children together, build a nation that is second to none, better than we ever thought it could be, Lord. Can you put your hand on us and give us that and help us to build that? Lord, I pray you would do this. Lord, and I pray that you would put your hand on interracial couples, Lord. People that are married outside their race, Lord, and that love each other and just want to be loved and left alone, Lord. I pray you would give them that strength and you would put protection over them, Lord. And I pray that you would protect black women in America and across the world to give them the safety, the love, and respect, and to open our eyes and see the true beauty in a black woman, her big loving heart, her nurturing, her character, her spirituality, Lord. I pray you would open up our eyes to that and show us the truth. In Jesus' name I pray. Amen. All right, guys. I love you guys. Black women, you're beautiful. You're amazing. Now, I love all women. I do. But black women, you are special to my heart. I prayed for you to be in my life. I prayed God would give me a black wife. I did. And I'm not ashamed to say that. People say you should have prayed just for a good wife. I couldn't, because I was in love with a black woman. That's where my heart was. And I can't lie to God. And God gave me not only what I needed, but also what I wanted. And I'm internally grateful. And I tell you guys, don't be afraid to open up your options. If that's what you want. Now, if you want to be with your own racial group, there's nothing wrong with that either. I'm not attacking nobody that does that either. Just find your true love. Okay? And those of us that open up our options, okay, just be happy we find somebody we love. And don't hate on us for that. Anyway, have a good night. Good to see everybody. Hey, Miss Elite, good to see you. But I'll see you guys Saturday night. Oh, I'm going to have I can't forget, Monday night. Okay? I'm going to be on my Rumble channel. I'm going to do a Rumble roast. Oh, I got a couple of jokers I want to talk about. Ooh, I can't wait. And I'm on a different platform that can't affect my YouTube. Oh, yeah. So tune in. I'll put it in there. And if you miss it, I'll post the times. And you guys can go over and watch it. And I'm gonna be nice, though. I'm a nice guy. But anyway, I've been waiting for this. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the show. And look, you know, I just want you guys to know I love you, and because of your support watching my video, I'm able to come up here and talk. And without you, I don't exist on YouTube, okay? I love you guys. You have been a blessing to me. You've been a blessing to me and my wife, Sandy. And look, that means a lot to me and my wife. And I appreciate that. And I love you guys. And I'll see you guys Monday night on Rumble. Okay? Oh, man. Okay, I better stop. Okay, Monday night on Rumble. Don't forget. Okay, I'll put it on my community page when I get ready to go live. And you guys can go back and see it. But anyway, I don't roast nobody that don't attack me. I don't just go in on people for nothing. Either they're attacking black women or myself or my family. That's when I go in. If they're doing their thing, whether they're pro-white, pro-black, or whatever, if they leave me alone, I pretty much leave people alone. Unless they get racist, then sometimes I gotta go in. Oh, and oh my God. Yeah, I got another show coming up, and we're going to talk about racial separation, and I got a white supremacist dude I'm going to show you, and this guy, he don't like interracial relationships, okay? And I'm going to go on both sides on that, okay? But anyway, that's a future show. But you guys have a good night. God bless you and your families. I'll see you guys soon. Monday night Rumble roast. It's going to be a good roast. Okay. Have a good night. God bless.